Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome William Rickert, co-chair of the Teachers College Board of Trustees.
Good morning. As co-chairman of the Board of Trustees of Teachers College, I have the honor of officially opening today's ceremony. On behalf of the entire community at Teachers College, as we celebrate our 125th anniversary, I welcome you to the 2013 Masters Convocation. It is now my very great pleasure to introduce the President of Teachers College, Susan H. Fuhrman.
Good morning, and welcome to the most joyous occasion on the calendar of Teachers College, when we honor the talented, energetic, and dedicated men and women who are ready to lead the charge into the future. Congratulations, graduates, you made it. You didn't technically make it until tomorrow, when I will beseech President Bollinger to award your degrees, but you made it. And I want to congratulate everyone who helped you along the way. All the families, parents, spouses, children, extended families, thank you. Let's all give them a hand of applause. And of course, we all want to thank those who really enabled this, our outstanding faculty and the staff who helped them. Thank you. This is a wonderful day to reflect on what you've accomplished at TC and to look ahead to what you hope to achieve in the years to come. And of course, it's a day to celebrate. You are graduating during a milestone year for TC, our 125th anniversary. We're marking this year with events all year long at TC and around the world. But I think the 125th is especially meaningful today as we launch another group of exceptional graduates into the world. I want you to know that you stand on the shoulders of giants, the leaders and pioneers who have walked the halls of TC over the decades and have helped to change the world in so many ways. I'm particularly awed by the brilliance and insight of our founders and early leaders who nurtured this institution as a world-renowned center of new ideas, practices, and fields of inquiries. In fact, TC's visionaries also provided the blueprint for subsequent schools of education. As graduates, you can be rightly proud of the far-reaching influence of your alma mater. You are the heirs to the vision of our first dean, James Earl Russell, who called for training which would enable the student to see the relationships existing everywhere in the various fields of knowledge, even the unity of all knowledge. What a marvelous way to describe the education you have received here, and how fitting that Russell's vision is even more relevant today in our hyper-connected and turbocharged world. We need more than ever to seek knowledge, understanding, and connection. This is the TC way. I urge you to continue to put Russell's vision into action in whatever you do and whatever your sphere of influence may be, whether it be one child or an entire nation. As you go into the world armed with your TC degree, I also want you to take pride in our legacy of firsts. It's a long list and continues to grow. Consider some of the fields that started here: social studies education, urban education, gifted education, conflict resolution, nursing education, dance education, nutrition education, international and comparative education, spirituality and psychology, and special education. Physical education and computing and education are some of the others. And remember that TC is the birthplace of the community school, the scholarly textbook, the yellow school bus, and the song, Happy Birthday. TC is also the home of educational psychology, measurement, and assessment. Today, when so many of us, including me, think there's too much testing in this country and too much weight placed on measures not meant to bear them, It's important to review what we've learned about assessment and measurement, what research that's mostly happened at TC over the years tells us. So this fall, as part of our 125th year of programs, we plan a day examining that history from Thorndike through the very recent Distinguished Commission report led by our own Ed Gordon through current controversies. We hope that policymakers will join us as well, including you, Chancellor Tisch. Just as TC graduates helped to shape the 19th and 20th centuries, so too will you have a lasting impact on this still young century. I'm confident you will lead the way toward that better future and create your own legacy of firsts with a distinctly 21st century twist. One student already making a difference is Chessa Gross, who receives her master's degree this morning in social studies and education. Chessa arrived at TC hungry to learn how to teach social studies in a culturally diverse setting through the social justice lens. She was in the right place. Chessa is an Atlanta native who did her student teaching at the Young Women's Leadership School in Astoria, Queens, which she called one of the most diverse schools I've ever been in. Taking a page from John Dewey, Chessa used the issues her students face daily, from the complex to the mundane, as springboards for her lessons. She provided student-centered activities and encouraged her students to learn from one another in a collaborative space. And she practices what she preaches about collaborative learning. With encouragement from her mentor, Professor Bill Gaudelli, Chessa created a blog, chessaclassroom.com, where she and her fellow students at TC can share lessons, activities, and innovations to support one another and to learn how to motivate students. Chessa hopes to teach in New York City because the city schools offer the challenge and rewards of educating diverse students. And it's her way to honor and give back to the immigrant parents in the city who work so hard to feed, clothe, and educate their children. Chessa speaks for us all when she said of her TC experience, "I want to make this world somewhere where we want our children to grow up." The story of Diana Ruiz, who is graduating today with a master's degree in speech and language pathology, illustrates the power of the TC legacy as well. Diana grew up nearby in Washington Heights. She's a first-generation American whose parents came to the US from the Dominican Republic. When her parents divorced, she had to work to help out with family expenses. She was only 13. But thanks to the summer youth employment program in her neighborhood, Diana found a job as a file clerk at Columbia University's Medical Center's Sergeyevsky Center. Her superior just happened to be a TC alumna, Helen Neja Santana, the center's senior staff officer of research. Diana has worked at the center ever since. She's now a research assistant coordinating data for efforts to locate genetic disease markers. Along the way, she has provided interpretation services between Spanish-speaking patients and the speech-language pathologist at Columbia's Huntington's Disease Center, leading to her current field. Diana's studies at TC took her to Bolivia, where she worked with speech-impaired children through the bilingual speech pathology extension program run by Professor Kate Crowley. Diana says the experience in Bolivia made her more sensitive and empathetic to people in different situations, and that after having to provide therapy with minimal resources, she was ready for any career challenge. This fall, Diana will begin working with high-needs students in New York City schools. She wants to help her future students attain their dreams, just as Helen Neja Santana enabled her to dream big and reach for the sky. So today, Diana's achievement is also Helen's. Let's celebrate their TC connection. They are both an inspiration and testament to the real-world impact of TC's people. Congratulations. There are so many more wonderful stories among our graduates. You've engaged in research, learning, and practice that's helping to change lives. Work that will resonate after you leave here today. So I expect great things from you. As TC graduates, you are uniquely prepared to meet the complex and often confounding challenges we face in our city, our nation, and our world. The challenges are very similar to those at the time of TC's founding. Industrialization and technology were creating both vast wealth and deep economic uncertainty. A vast new influx of people was pouring into the U.S. from nations around the world. Communities were grappling with issues of health, race relations, education, and crime. Sound familiar? Clearly, we have much work ahead. We must transform our schools to ensure every child has access to an excellent education. We must harness the power of technology and exciting new research on how the mind works to support more effective learning. We must help shape policy and practice on physical and mental health to address the most pressing needs in our communities, and so much more. TC has given you a strong foundation. Now it's up to you to put your own visions into action. This is your time to seize, your moment to make a difference. Despite our daunting challenges, I know you can do this. As you go forth from here today, I urge you to honor the spirit of TC in all that you do. I want to leave you with the words of one of our founders, Nicholas Murray Butler, who wrote, during another time of tremendous change and challenges, optimism is essential to achievement, and it's also the foundation of courage and true progress. Remember his words and look to the future with optimism and the courage to change the world. Thank you. We now reach the moment in this ceremony when we honor an extraordinary individual whose life's work has advanced the cause of education. Among those honored at past ceremonies were Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Coretta Scott King, Senator George Mitchell, Pete Seeger, Tom Sobel, Lee Shulman, Gail Collins, Spike Lee, Linda Darling-Hammond, and many others. This year, we're honoring three eminent individuals: New York State Board of Regents Chancellor Merrill Tisch, journalist and author Thomas Friedman, and Lee Sing Kong, director of Singapore's National Institute of Education. We'll honor Mr. Friedman at this afternoon's convocation, and Dr. Lee will be honored tomorrow. Dr. Tisch will be honored presently and deliver her remarks. It's now my pleasure to introduce our Provost and Dean, Thomas James. Thank you.